I started my career shortly out of high school. I went to Wenatchee Valley for about a year. I came back. I started my career with forestry and fire management here. I worked in pre-sales, and during that time, I learned a lot of, how we took care of our timber, timber management, and I did a lot of like timber sale layout. We did marking. We cruised timber to see how much volume that we were actually going to be taking off in timber sales. And the big thing for me was I learned how to write timber sale contracts when we're selling timber out in the world. My fire background, I fought a lot of wildland fire here during the summer. I worked my way up through the ranks. I was a crew supervisor. I run engines. I was a dozer boss. Worked my way up to a division group supervisor, and later on became a Type 3 IC. So I was running extended attack IC for a while until we either caught the fire or turned it over to a Type 2 team. In 2001, I had the opportunity to apply for a job in Sacramento as a wildland fire prevention specialist. I was accepted. I took that job and I moved to Sacramento, where I worked in the regional office from 2001 to 2016. So I had the opportunity to travel the whole United States working with different tribes in their fire prevention programs and whatnot. But one thing that really sticks out for me was they were having a lot of youth fires on a lot of the reservations, and we come up with the idea about creating a youth intervention program, fire intervention program. And I worked with one of the tribes in Southern California that took that information and actually worked at youth intervention there. They identified some children, and we went and did the cause and origin, and we actually got these young people in the youth intervention program with direction from the tribal council. To me, that was priceless. I retired in 16. I stayed in California for about a year, and I decided to move back, and we bought my wife and I bought a little place right here above the mission, where we've moved now. And in 18, I applied for the job as a emergency management coordinator with the tribe. So I have a couple of years here working with the tribe in emergency management, and I've learned a lot from that. And to me, I think with the knowledge and experience I do have, I can be very helpful to our tribe. Thank you.
Thank you, Jim. Go ahead, it's Jared Erickson. You had your hand up.
Yeah, so I just wanted to go back to the ethics question. I don't know if there's anyone in here that isn't in favor of removing ethics out of council. I mean, I know I am. It's not something that's fun to deal with, as others might know. It's not something we want to deal with. I think Karen had a good suggestion as far as maybe a way to handle it. That's kind of what I want to hear from some of the others. I've thought about when I first got on about having an elder ethics council to deal with that. Then I started thinking about it more and more, and the way that when ethics gets out there, usually it's we get you can get kind of attacked, or you can get, people can, I don't know, any other way to put it other than that. And I would hate to put that on to our elders to be potentially attacked, or, maybe people say some negative things about them. So I just want to hear some suggestions, because I'm definitely open to suggestions. I know Karen made a good one. I'd like to hear some more, because I've tried to thought about that myself. I'm just trying to think of more ways of how we could do that. So that was kind of my question, going off of that question. So thank you.
Okay, Eddie, you want to answer that ethics question? We should be taken out of council.
Yes, yes, it needs to be taken out of council. And yeah, Karen had a good idea there. And, I'm sure there's other tribes that has ethics committees, in a different spot, not in their council, so, don't be afraid to go out and, look and see how they handle theirs, I mean, it's not like you're having to reinvent the wheel here. I mean, there's other people doing it. So, take a look around and see what's going to work best for us here, I guess. So that's just my thought on it.
Yeah.
Can I add a comment to that? This is Jim.
Yes, go ahead, Jim.
Yeah, for me, I've been thinking a lot about the ethics stuff here on the reservation, especially what I've been seeing the last few months. I definitely believe that the ethics needs to be taken out of the tribal council. I would actually like to see develop a ethics council itself. I could see a mixture of people in there, some elders, that kind of stuff. To me, I think that would be a big benefit, because I feel that these ethic charges, when they come up, they should be looked at by the peers. That's how I feel. And I think we should also even consider maybe having them maybe elected positions where people would actually want to take a look at getting in there, and if they are working on an ethics charge or whatever, that they at least get paid a stipend or something to do that. That's what I think. Thanks.
Okay, thank you, Jim. I see Randy raised his hand. Go ahead, Randy.
Yeah, I just want to say, it sounds like some good ideas. One suggestion I have is to figure out first, what are ethics, and then what kind of person are you looking for to be able to judge that and to take a look at that. So rather than say, just, I like the idea maybe of select, I don't know if you vote them or select them or whatever, but before you do that, and I've heard people say that about council, what kind of qualifications do they need? They should have some qualifications. So anyway, I think that would be important. Take a look. What are you looking at? I mean, one person might say, if you have an affair, if a council member has an affair, is that an ethics violation? If a council member threatens another council member, is that an ethics violation? Theft, is that an ethics violation? Again, currently the Constitution says, felonies and misdemeanors. Should it go beyond that? Anyway, so I think defining ethics and then determining, what type of person can judge that, I guess. Thanks.
Okay, thank you, Randy. So I hear a couple of I guess people kind of gravitating towards what they know and what they're what they're kind of familiar with. So I had a question. If elected to council and it's your very first week, or actually before you get on council, they have a reorganization, and basically all the council get together, and a lot of times there's meetings before the swear-in and all that kind of stuff. And council have to, the newly elected council have to try to pick a chair or get elected to a chair of a committee. And sometimes the committees are, I guess the committees, the people are kind of already in there, the incumbents are in there, and they might not want to give up a committee. But there's a natural resources committee, management budget committee, tribal government committee, health and human services committee, culture committee, employment education committee. And then there's the executive committee, which is the chairman of the tribe, the vice chairman, secretary, and if elected, I guess my question is, what's the first committee you would pick to if you would pick or would you not pick a committee? And what is the second committee you would pick to be nominated to? Any volunteers?
This is Allison. That's a real, yeah, this is Allison. Real great question, Ricky. And, I've given this some thought. And, one of the things that I had wanted to do is really look at financial stability for the tribe. And financial stability doesn't just mean that you have money in the bank. It really means that, you're, as a tribe, that we're making our own decisions, that, we have a healthy work environment, we have healthy employees, we have a healthy membership. And I think in order to do that, we really need to look at our governmental structure. And what it kind of reminds me of is that a lot of times new council come in and they call a reorg, when in fact it's like, it kind of reminds me of, when I get tired of my furniture in a certain place, I just come in and just kind of rearrange it. And the reality is it's the same room, it's the same furniture. It may look a little different, but it functions. It still may not function properly for me. So really what it calls for is a remodel, and I've never seen anybody come in and really want to remodel things so then it will really function, with a purpose. So given that, I'm really interested in the tribal government chair, because I believe that, focusing on, creating a real good, healthy organization. I've worked for a lot of other organizations, universities, and I've never seen where you don't have administrative policies and procedures. And I think that's really problematic, because what happens is everything gets pushed to HR. And then HR becomes kind of a power block, and they start interpreting like administrative issues and responsibilities, when in fact it really does need some kind of policies and procedures.